howling at the moon.
G'day boys, I think it's probably about time that I shared with you something that I stumbled upon a little while ago while I was playing around with the macro that I made for Reckoning. And for those of you who don't know what Reckoning is, it's a talent you get in the Protection Paladin tree, which gives the player a 100% chance to return an attack when they get crit. Now this is a broken talent, and I'm going to get more into Reckoning and Reckoning bombing a little bit later on. But for now I'm going to be talking about the macro that I made and what it did to a couple of other items that I had. Now the item that I'm talking about is Hand of Justice. Now the Hand of Justice gives you a 2% chance to generate a free hit when you attack. And if you've never seen or heard of the Hand of Justice before, and you're all just like, you can get it from Black Rock Depths. You just got to kill General Angerforge. He's pretty close to the start and people farm him all day long. So you'll be right. And then there's items like Thrashblade and Iron Foe, which I haven't actually confirmed yet. So if anyone can confirm, please let me know in the comments. I'd really like to know. And then unfortunately there's things like the talents that Warriors and Rogues get, which I kind of tested briefly and I don't think they work. But again, if someone wants to test them and try them out, just let me know in the comments, please. Alright, so now time for my coding genius. Here it is, guys. It is probably the most simple macro you will ever see or use. So I'll explain what happens when you use it compared to when you use it normally. So when you use it normally, you just take your swing and then it procs and you get your extra swing. But if you're spamming the macro, then you'll go in for your swing, and just before it procs and before you get your free swing, because you've been spamming the macro, you stop your attack and you've started a new fresh attack. And I don't know, the game sees it separately from your last attack, but it has to come with a basic attack, otherwise it doesn't see it as a free attack, it just sees it as an attack. So my thinking is with things like the Iron Foe, that maybe if you get a proc and you're spamming this, you're going to get, instead of 2 additional hits, you're going to get 3. So you'll end up stacking 4 auto attacks just from 1 proc. And then of course you got to remember, because you've stacked up 4 auto attacks, it's not only 2% chance you've got it proc in your Hand of Justice in that one swing, you've actually got an 8% chance, which is a lot more likely. So there's some fucking broken synergy going on here, guys. If you can get a hold of a couple of these items and get this stacked up together, it is super broken and a lot of fun. And now this kind of stuff's going to work on every class, but for the paladins out there, we've got Reckoning, and as we know, Reckoning gives us 1 free hit every single time we get crit. But if you're spamming the macro, it's actually 2 free hits every single time you get crit, because to get the free hit, you've got to at least have a basic hit to come with it, otherwise it's not a free hit, it just counts as a hit in the game's eyes. So by spamming the macro, you've reset your auto attacks. Or you could have your Reckoning stacked up to 5 charges, which is known as the Reckoning Bomb, which means that you can get 6 auto attack hits all stacked up at once, which is pretty much a guaranteed proc for the Seal of Command for any paladins out there. But say that you hit once with your Iron Foe, and you had your Reckoning Bomb stacked up, that's 6 hits. And then from your Reckoning Bomb, your Iron Foe gets procced, and you're spamming the macro, so there again, that's 4 hits straight away. And throughout all of that, your Hand of Justice goes off, and that procs, and you've got 2 free hits. So for a paladin, if the Iron Foe works, like I hope it does, you'd be looking at somewhere around like 11 hits. And for any class that hasn't got Reckoning, just with the Iron Foe and the Hand of Justice, you're looking at like 5 free hits. But we've got to remember, with every single auto attack that we're getting, you do have a chance to proc any other procs that you've got. With the exception of some things that don't really stack, like Seal of Command, you can only proc once in a Reckoning Bomb because it has a full animation. Other things like Seal of Righteousness, that stacks and hits every single time you've got an auto attack. So if you've stacked up 11 hits, it's going to hit 11 times for the Seal of Righteousness as well. Things like Fiery Weapon, I'm pretty sure would stack up like that. So things you can proc with every single auto attack is just going to boost your damage like fucking crazy.
What a joker.
Hey bitch, what's up bitch? Suck my dick bitch. I'm joking! Stop! 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 Off the brake! Psych!
Why you bullying me?
Ain't nobody got time for that!
So there's a couple ways that you can go about stacking your reckoning when you need it, whether it's for the reckoning bomb or if it's just when you're fighting something and you want it to proc. All of them are going to require the weapon swing timer add-on because it shows you when the mob's going to hit you. It doesn't matter what the attack speed of the mob is. I think it kind of struggles with the offhand if the mob is dual wielding, but other than that, it has no problems at all. And this just makes it infinitely easier because you can see when the mob hits you. So this is by far the easiest way to stack up the reckoning bomb if you want to get it nice and charged up. Basically, you just got to find a target. You can do this to low level mobs even if they're going to be like a one shot for you. But what you need to do is engage the mob just to make sure that those crits are actually going to register to give you a reckoning charge. And you can do that by right clicking, or you just spam the macro for a second, and then just before you get to the mob, before it gets in range, just sit, just to cancel your auto attacks. And from here, you pretty much just want to sit every single time in between the attacks, and then just before the attack goes off, pretty much just before the mob swings, you just want to step. Because stepping is going to make your character stand up instantly. It's going to take out the animation, and it's just going to make it a quick transition from sitting to standing. But the crit's already taken place, but now you're standing, so you get the reckoning charge. And now that being said, this is also the easiest way to go about just stacking up charges when you're fighting a mob. And from personal experience, you can pop out over like 500 DPS single target. It's fucked up. Now the other way that I sometimes go about proccing the reckoning while I'm fighting a mob, which is definitely from my experience harder to time and also more unreliable, but this doesn't involve you having to step your character. So this is pretty much sitting and then right clicking almost at the same time just before the mob hits you, right around the 0.2 second mark, while also spamming the macro to make sure you get the most out of the reckoning. This method is so much more likely to work for you every single time if you're fighting a mob that has a really fast attack speed. With mobs that have a normal and a slower attack speed, I found it kind of hard to do the timing with. But if you're doing the method where you just kind of step just as the mob attacks you, it's really easy to do for any mob. Alright, so for those of you who are still watching the video up until this point, I'm going to let you in on an extra little tip from me through a lot of personal experience with this macro. And that is the easiest place that I have found to put it is just on your mouse scroll wheel. Because if I'm using it, I'm in combat, and if I'm in combat, usually I'll have my right click down on my mouse so I can freely move around my camera angle, and then my hand can easily be in a good position to just spam my mouse scroll wheel up and down all the time. And now one last tip for the paladins out there. This tip goes for everyone. Just get a shit ton of free action potions. They're so overpowered. 30 seconds of not getting stunned or anything like that, it's good. But it's really good if you're using reckoning, because anytime you're in like a 1v2, say like I am here and I've got a rogue on me, I saw there was a rogue before he popped, so I just popped the free action potion so I wasn't going to get stunned. And then every time he was going to be critting me, because he couldn't stun me, I was just going to be going straight for the priest. So it'll be really easy to drop the priest, and then I'm just going to kind of like stun him or bubble, heal up, reset the fight. Alright, now seriously guys, if you've made it this far into the video, then fucking thanks. Because it helps me out more than you know. Now hopefully I was able to help you out. Hopefully you guys didn't know about the Hand of Justice cheeky mechanical manipulation that we can do right here. But I'm fucking terrified. I don't want to run into an enhancement shaman using this kind of shit. It's gonna be fucked. Alright guys, well cheers for watching. Again, just drop a like if you did. Leave a comment. I enjoy replying to them. And, of course, sub. I'd love to see you guys come back. I'll catch ya.